And welcome back to part 3 of the rental property kitchen renovation. I decided to tile the backsplash so it'd be more durable, and then I also used white subway tiles because they don't go out of style. I used this joint compound to smooth out the walls so I had a good surface to apply the tile to. Honestly, the tiles probably would have held up just fine without this step, but I wanted to make sure they lasted as long as possible, especially being in a rental. While I was waiting for that to dry, I took off the old trim around the window that was cut to the size of the old cabinets, measured, cut, and replaced those boards. And thankfully the boards went up really easy because all the nails were attaching to the lath behind the plaster walls. Once I got the trim up around the windows, I was able to start sanding the walls because they were all dried and ready to be sanded. I did some research and saw I needed to add this primer before I put on the tile, so I just used a sponge to apply that to the walls. The next step here was laying out the tiles. It was actually super nice. I was able to use ChatGPT here. I just put in the length of the wall, tile, and spacers, and it gave me the perfect layout for this area. I bought everything pre-mixed for this project, which was a little more expensive, but it avoided making a mess while mixing everything up. Once I got up all the mastic for the area, I was able to start laying the tile. And keep in mind, I've never tiled a backsplash before, so this is definitely a learning experience, but I thought it turned out pretty well. The mastic was a lot stickier than I thought, so I didn't have any issues getting the tiles to stick. There were only a few tricky cuts on this project, one of which being around this outlet, but I was able to use this wet saw to cut all the pieces I needed. With all the pieces cut, it was time to toss them into place. One of the last steps of the project was to use this TEC grout to grout in between the tiles. Once the grout was installed, I gave it a little time to cure and then wiped the rest off with a sponge. As soon as the backsplash was up, this is where we were sitting. Make sure to follow to see the rest of this project come together.